Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing my yearly favorites, and I'm trying to get used to where I'm filming at. I'm actually filming in my dining room because I had quite a few products and I needed a surface. So I have everything laid out on the table. We are just going to go ahead and jump into it because I got some things to discuss. And let's start with the category that I have the least of. I don't know what you want to call this. Body, skincare, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to run through this stuff rapid fire. The first thing, like when I really thought about skincare, this really just stole my heart this year. This is the Bosica Makeup Breakup Cool Cleansing Oil. Ooh, it just removes the makeup so well. It leaves my skin feeling refreshed. Don't be, scared about the whole cool claim because it doesn't burn my skin. It does not burn my eyes. Y'all know, burn my eyes, you're done. But it just removes the makeup so well, and it's just, I've tried to use makeup wipes and I still like them, but this has just spoiled me. So this is the top skincare of all skincare. And then another thing that I want to mention that I'm so surprised, I was pretty sure I would like it, but I really love it. This is the Body Lovin' Butters that Phone Jones makes. I will link her channel down below or her website, whatever I can find. I do watch her channel, and she started back up her business for body butters, and I was planning to do an individual review on this. If you like natural body butters, I would highly recommend checking this out. It does have a butter base and it does take a while to soak in, but at night it's just such a nice treat. It's really moisturizing, and I have the baby powder scent. She has tons of scents that you can choose from, and it just smells really good, and I'll show you what it looks like right there. And you just take a little bit, emulsify it in your hand, and then rub it all over your body. And this is so moisturizing, works so well for me. I found myself really loving that this year. And then the next thing I want to mention now, this pains me to say, but lip products really took a back seat for me this year. I know, I feel like I didn't even want to mention them because I feel like they weren't, like, I love them so much, but lip products did take a back seat for me. But the Maybelline Loaded Bolds blew me away, so we're going to give those an honorable mention. But I feel like what I was using the most this year is the Burts Bees Beeswax Lip Balm with vitamin E and peppermint, 100% natural lip balm. This is literally your standard clear lip balm. It's my favorite lip balm, period. I really came to that conclusion last year. This is like a lip balm that's really going to hydrate the lips. It doesn't just sit on top. It really soaks in. It's so good. So this really stood out to me this year. And then the other thing that, I was pairing these together a lot. This is the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. Can I talk tonight? It's late. This is the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator, but I really love this. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's an exfoliator that looks like it comes in like lipstick type packaging, and it's shaped like a lipstick. It's really good for traveling. Get it all over the lips, and it really gets rid of the dead skin on the lips. It just works so well, and it is really hydrating, but it also has enough scrubbies in there where I really feel like it's doing something. So this I needed to mention because this is one of my most repurchased products. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mention a perfume. I was all over the place. If you've looked at my favorites video, I feel like every video to every other video I had a perfume. But in the end, I decided to choose the Flower Beauty perfume in the scent Radiant. And it's twofold. One, I absolutely love this scent, and I feel like it's really has become one of my top 5, one of my top 3. I just absolutely love it. But also, this scent, I get the most compliments on. I don't know what it is about this scent in my body chemistry, but I get the most compliments on this. People are always like, what are you wearing? And every time, I could just sit here and just smell this thing just all day. I'm gonna stop. But if you are at Walmart and you see this, smell it, see if it's something you like, see if it's something that works with your body chemistry. I highly recommend it if you end up liking this scent. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into makeup. Now, this year I feel like complexion products really took over my life. So I'm gonna start with primers, and I have 2 primers to mention. I'm mentioning this Makeup Forever Hydrating Primer because of just that. It's hydrating. It really helps to kind of combat the dryness that I'm dealing with on my skin. Sometimes I have to do a little bit extra because it's hydrating, but it's not necessarily like the nourishing primer, so it's not the highest level of moisture, but it's pretty good moisture. And then also the NYX Pore Filler, because it's the only pore filling primer that I like. Most of them I really hate. This one I feel like does a great job, and I notice a difference when I wear this and when I don't. So mentioning those 2 primers, and then moving on in terms of face products, the products that I wanted to mention, the first one is I finally really got into the Revlon Color Stay. And I have it in the shade Caramel. It's not a perfect match for me. I do have to manipulate it depending on the time of year. But if you look at a lot of my videos, especially in the summer, I was wearing this foundation. This is pretty full coverage and it is heavy. And I find that with this one, I have to be careful about how I apply it. At the same time, and don't mind the fact that this says Clinique. It's not a Clinique foundation. This is actually the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and these are the 2 samples I have left that I'm finishing up, and I have it in the shade 5W1. This is also full coverage, but I feel like this one feels a little bit thinner than the Revlon Color Stay. Is it just me? But they're both really full coverage, so I guess that was a thing for me this year. And I just like the finish of both of these on the skin. I feel like they last a long time. I feel like the Revlon Color Stay transfers a little bit more than this one, but they are both, to me, really, really good. And I have absolutely loved them this year. Last year, it's 2017. I actually forgot what I'm wearing today on my face is actually the Amon Skin Tone Evener. I've talked about it a lot on the channel. I'll put a picture in of it because it took me a lot to wiggle in this area where I'm at right now. But that BB cream, it's very light coverage. Today I have it mixed in with the Cover FX drops, but it's really light coverage, but it's hydrating. And I found that when my skin was going through changes, I could just pop that on and it looked really fresh on the skin, even though it didn't give a ton of coverage. So absolutely love that. And then moving on to concealer, I have 3 to mention. I love concealer. It's a weakness for me. The first one is the Benefit Erase Paste. This is a peachy corrector. I have mine in the deepest shade, number 3 Deep. And I use this up under my eyes. I've also used it to conceal a little bit, correct a little bit around my mouth. It's okay there, but really I like this for up under my eyes. It is hydrating and a little bit goes a long way. Like when I dig into this thing, I just take my nail and do like this. I don't even know if y'all gonna even be able to see that. And like that much per eye. That's all you need. And I'm gonna put that right back. Yeah, that's all you need because it's really intensely pigmented. So it's gonna last you a really long time and it's worked really well for me. And then the other 2 things I wanna mention are both concealers. At first I was only gonna mention the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I have been using and loving this for years, but I feel like in particular this year, it was just a start for me. This is normally my go-to concealer if I'm only wearing concealer. If I'm just doing up under my eyes or if I'm just doing concealer and powder. I like the whole range of this. I feel like they have so many colors. I really appreciate the detail that LA Girl put into this concealer formula. I just think they did such a great job, and I feel like they really just set the tone for what I think brands should be looking to do when they come out with concealers. Maybe not as wide, that would be great, but I feel like they really show brands like this is how you come out with a range of concealers and really be inclusive for everyone. So I just really appreciate that for LA Girl. You will always get my point as long as you continue to make this. And then the other one, y'all know how I feel about a good Maybelline concealer. And this year, this is my 2nd tube this year. The only concealer I feel like I go through that fast is this one right here, so it had to be mentioned. This is the Better Skin Concealer. I mentioned this in a video earlier this year. This one has less coverage than this one. This is pretty good coverage. This one is like lighter coverage, but it's just a formula thing and a color thing. I think this color just looks really beautiful on my skin tone, and it's just the right color, has a really nice yellow golden undertone, and the formula is just so good. It's creamy, it's lightweight. I layer this a lot with the Benefit Erase Paste, and these 2 together are great together. So if you have these and you haven't tried them together, try them together and see how you like them for concealing up under your eye. Where do I want to go next? Well, I guess we'll talk about this. This is the NYX Hd Finishing Powder. Another thing I discovered this year. This year, y'all, I'm telling you, I was discovering some products that just were great. I'm actually going to list everything down below, and I'll put a star or some type of symbol next to which of these products were discovered this year, if you're interested in that. But this, I have already hit pan on it, and I got it this year. Hands down, my favorite powder for setting up under the eye. My favorite pressed powder for setting up under the eye. It's so good. It's just the right color. It's really lightweight. It looks good. And even with me dealing with the dryness, I don't feel like this exaggerates it. And so I have just really clung to this powder this year. And then another thing I want to go ahead and mention, I talked about this in the December favorites, NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. Great. It's going to add a little bit of radiance, not too much, and it just really takes away the powdery appearance. I was wearing this. No, I was carrying this around in my purse, and I don't particularly carry a ton of makeup, I don't feel like, because I don't touch up my face makeup generally, but I was carrying this around in my purse. At the same time, something else I discovered this year, it's dirty, I used it to do my makeup today, is the Beauty Blender. I have to agree with everybody. There's just something so special about the Beauty Blender. Like I said before, I love the Real Technique sponge, but the Beauty Blender, it's really good. And I wouldn't want to just be in love with a $20 sponge, okay? But it is really good. It's just the texture is different, the softness is different, and I just love the way it applies products. So I am now a Beauty Blender fan. And then the last product that I want to mention in like the face category is this NYX Pro Foundation Mixer, in particular the one in white. I have another one and I like it, but it upsets me because it just spills out the bottle, and I have not had any issues with the packaging of this one. But in particular this year, when I've needed to adjust the shade of any product, this has been what I went to. It adjusted really well. It doesn't change the formula. It doesn't do anything weird. I haven't noticed it breaking me out. So I would highly recommend, if you have a lot of foundations and maybe they're not your exact color and you're looking for a foundation mixer, I would highly recommend the NYX one. It's worked really, really well for me. And then also another thing I want to talk about is highlighting, because I feel like this year was the year of highlighting, and I know that if you've been watching my channel, you probably know what I'm gonna start with first. So I'm gonna just go ahead and just flash it real quick. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in Opal. Seriously, this changed my makeup game. I know that sometimes that can be hard to believe, like, really? But listen, I have this highlight on today. I'm wearing a ton of these products, actually, by the way, today. Anything I could mention that I could get on my face, I did. But this is just so pretty. The liquid formula, I feel like, is really special because it just really melts into the skin, but yet it gives you a really nice glow. And I also think that this would be great for people who maybe have a lot of texture or acne on their face. If you're scared of highlighting, I really love these. I would say try to get the kits that are $20 so you can see how you like it before you invest in the big bottle. I haven't invested in a big bottle yet, but I recently bought Moonstone, so I absolutely love that. And then at the same time, a powder highlight that I feel like I really, really love this year is the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette. So where you're getting in here is 4 different tones of highlighters. These are powder highlighters. They can look a tad bit powdery, just a little bit. So just tap off your brush, and I find that it just takes that away. And sometimes I'll even just spray my brush a little bit, and then I don't have any problems. But they are subtle, but don't let that fool you, because it might change your world. Like, I'm trying to tell you, it is subtle, but like, it's so hard to explain if it's not on your cheeks. Like, on your cheeks, you just really look like you just got it going on. Just like you got the glow, just lit from within glow. And these are so beautiful. And also, I feel like I've said this before, I don't know, but this shade down here at the bottom, this one right here, I know it looks like kind of gray toned, but to me, it's just like that, a champagne highlighter, but it's just taken down. And don't let that fool you, because this is probably my favorite one in the entire pan. Surprisingly so. It is so beautiful. I have to remind myself not to use it so that I can use other ones in the pan. So beautiful. And then for blush, I had a good blush year. So I recently, like mid-year, I retried the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. They changed the formula, and I think it was the best idea they could have ever did. These are so smooth, and they just hang together so well. Pigmentation is still just as good. Staying power is still just as good. This is in the shade Mellow Wine. I think this is a beautiful color for women of colors, and it's just that really pretty mauvey blush that will go with any look. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you put in orange and blue eyeshadow on. Here's your blush, and it's gonna look great. So I really like this blush. I think it works out so well on the skin. And I know in the pan it doesn't look like much, but on the cheek it looks good. And this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. I wanted to try Tarte blushes for so long. I finally got my hand on the Tarte blushes. So the one blush that I'm mentioning again is called Tipsy. This really is like 12-hour staying power. When I know that I'm going to be somewhere for a really long time, this is almost always the blush I pick up. It is so freaking long wearing. It looks so beautiful. And also this blush, something I'm kind of appreciating more about blushes is blushes that are a little bit more buildable. I love a good pigmented blush right off the bat, but I feel like I have to be careful. So a blush that's a little bit more buildable that can still give me to a really nice look on the cheeks, but maybe I have to work for it a little bit more. I don't mind that. This is really pigmented, but it is buildable. And it's just so beautiful on the cheeks. And at first I thought I wasn't going to like it because it kind of looked like it wasn't completely matte. You know that I only like matte blushes or cream. Like I don't like shimmer or anything in the blushes. But this is definitely a matte on the face. So it is really good. But it's not a flat matte. It's the kind of matte that gives something back. And that's normally what I like when it comes to a blush. So I absolutely love that. We're getting to the end, I promise. For eye products, this year I feel like eye products really also took over my life. I feel like I've talked about this a lot, but just so we're clear, these two together, dynamic duo, so good. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I use the shade Espresso. If you're not familiar with it, it does have the brow product that comes out this side over here, and then it also has a spoolie on this side. This year in particular, I really got into brow pencils because I had an unfortunate incident with my eyebrows, and a lot of my eyebrows was actually burnt off at a salon, and they are growing back, but I've just had a lot of trouble. They do not grow back the same at all. And so I really needed something precise to get in there and take care of them. Now today, I barely have any of this on because they're actually pretty bushy because I need to go and get them arched up and just get them looking a little bit sharper. So I really didn't use a lot of this today. But what I do have on them is the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel, the best eyebrow gel. If you have unruly curly hairs that just want to go everywhere, this is my holy grail eyebrow gel. This is one of the best things I have ever discovered. So good. And then for mascara, I love a good mascara, but I feel like overall the mascara that I used and love this year the most is definitely the Maybelline The Falsies Volume Express. Of course, mine is in waterproof because I'm me, right? This mascara, what I like about it is I feel like it's the perfect blend of all of my other mascaras. So it's going to give me really nice, intensely black eyelashes. I have it on today, but it's also going to lift them up. It's going to give me a lot of volume. I don't find it to be too clumpy at all. It really separates and it just really makes my eyelashes noticeable. And I feel like I get a lot of compliments from friends and stuff when I have this on. And then another product I discovered this year, I just need to like flash a light. If you listen, if you have not tried the NYX prismatic eyeshadows, these blew my mind when I tried these. Like, this is up there with like Makeup Geek in terms of how much it blew my mind. These are so good. I have liquid gold, and also, can we just appreciate the little bow? I just love when products do that. I love bows. But this is liquid gold, so beautiful, and this one is Fireball. They have a whole range. They have greens and all kind of other colors. These are just so beautiful. I just could not mention these. The formula on these is really, this is just a testament to the whole line. Amazing formula. They feel like when you swatch them, it looks like liquid. They're just so pigmented and they just work so well. So highly, 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 highly recommend NYX Prismatic Eyeshadows. I'm gonna hop off that train only to hop on the Sonia Kashuk train. This is the Ion Neutral Matte Palette. I did haul this on the channel, and when I was thinking about eyeshadows, I decided I needed to tell you about this one because I'm about to hit pan really soon on 2 shadows. I'm starting to see indentations, but this is just a great matte palette. I am a matte girl. I really love and appreciate a good matte eye look, and I do have an all matte eye look on today with some of these shadows and my Lorac shadows as well. And I just feel like this color scheme, it's so basic, but it's the type of shades that you can use, and this palette can be an accessory to any other shadows, or if you're using single shadows. And I just really like the formula of this palette, so I wanted to mention that one. Along with that, all of these, I have 2 more eyeshadow palettes to mention. Know that they're pigmented, know that I think the formula is good, the formula is consistent, and they just blend well on the eye. This is the Pure Mineral Soul Mattes palette. If you're a mauve rosy lover, here you go. These are great. And finally, I know I'm not gonna say much, Makeup Geek starter kit, just really good, so pigmented, really blew my mind. I really had to take a step back and really just appreciate this eyeshadow formula for what it was. The regular eyeshadows is what I've tried, so good. And then finally, I thought that I would end this favorites video. I feel like I've been really talking fast. Let me get some water, but this video is probably like 30 hours long. I cooked dinner and I can smell it, and I just can't wait to eat. It's really late too. I wanted to end this video by talking about eye brushes, and the reason I wanted to do that, there is a ton I could have mentioned, but I just wanted to mention some that I discovered this year. First off, Sonia Kashuk, she really just had some great products that I discovered this year, even more than what I'm showing you. So here's my rundown. Sonia Kashuk number 109, really nice fluffy blending crease brush. This is one of my favorites for putting my transition color down, for using as a bare blending brush. Absolutely love this brush. Sonia Kashuk number 106, small eyeshadow brush. Highly recommend this if you have hooded eyes, if you have small lid space. This is just so great. If you have more lid space, this would be a great detail brush for you. I even use this sometime when I'm packing deeper colors in my outer V. I've used this to smudge, and I think what makes this such a great versatile brush is the shape of it. It's so small, it's a little rounded, and it's flat, but it's not the flattest. So I think that it lends itself to being very versatile. And then in terms of a dense crease brush, the number 116 is where it's at. It is so dense and just, it's fabulous. See how passionate I get? And then from Morphe, now I tried a lot of Morphe brushes. I really liked, I feel like it was split. I liked half, I loved half, and then the other half I really hated. But this brush, in terms of eye brushes, man, I was really into a smoky lower lash line with shadows this year, and I feel like I kind of neglected eyeliner. I know I really neglected eyeliner this year, I feel like, because it was just all about smoking out my lower lash line. And the thing about this brush is it's so tiny, so I mean you can get up in there and just smoke until your heart is content. So this, what is it, Morphe 508, I literally just feel like I just want a ton of these, because I hunt for this brush like crazy. Absolutely love it. So finally, what I want to say is just thank you so much for being a part of this channel, and for taking the time to watch my yearly favorites. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope it's not too long. I'm kind of scared to see how long it is, but I really hope it's not too long. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.